the Hamas is saying that they have now extended a deal that Israel has not responded to. Israel is saying that Hamas has to accept the deal that you've been referencing with regard to hostages. Can you sort out what's true in both of those things? And can you also comment on, has it been more difficult to have these talks in Cairo without an Israeli representative at the table?
I kind of sort of already did it, Jeff, but maybe I'll take it a different way. There has been, throughout the process of these many weeks, back and forth between the sides, proposals, counter proposals, and haggling over the details and all the modalities of how this is going to work in terms of the phasing of the hostages and how many, and the release of Palestinian prisoners and how many, and how that's all going to take place. There is now a framework. There is a deal, as the president said today, that has been the result of all this back and forth. So the back and forth has happened. There's a deal now, and the onus is on Hamas to accept it. And you had a second question.
Israel hasn't been at the table?
Oh, and in Cairo. Again, I won't speak to Israel and the presidents of their negotiators when they get to speak to that. But as I said earlier, the Israelis have negotiated in good faith. They have agreed to this framework. They have taken it right up to the end, and now it's up to Hamas.
Given that Hamas has now responded to the deal and that they have not agreed to it as written, is it still practically possible to come up with an agreement by the start of Ramadan?
Look, the negotiators are working hard on this, Kevin. That's what we hope will happen, but we'll have to see.
So there is still a belief that is a possibility?
I didn't say a belief. I said we hope that we can get this done as soon as possible. We would have liked to have this done 2-3 weeks ago, if not before then. We are where we are, and we're working on this really, really hard.
And given what the president said about the potential dangerous situation should an agreement not be reached, what conversations is the White House having with Israel about, for example, the situation around the Al-Aqsa Mosque? What are sort of the conversations in advance to try and curb some of the violence that the president...
I don't think the Israelis need to be reminded by the United States that they live in a tough neighborhood. And I don't think they need to be reminded about the prospect of violence, particularly in a sensitive time like Ramadan. They don't need us to remind them of that. They're well aware of it. Again, we're going to continue to work with them as we have to help make sure that they can defend themselves against Hamas, make sure that the Israeli citizens are safe and secure as much as possible, and that we can try to get this hostage deal in place.